Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Monday Merriment. Today is December 30th, 2024. The moon phase is the new moon, and the moon sign is in Capricorn. With the new moon here and in the moon sign of Capricorn, it's a good time to start a new business and to attract customers through advertising. I thought I'd start this video off by just kind of giving you a summary of 2024. I know that, I've been making videos on this channel for quite a long time. It's been viewable since 2015. And unfortunately, I never really got a lot of, subscribers, mainly because, I've dealt with targeting, I've dealt with blacklisting, I've dealt with people blocking me mainly because they felt as though I was a controversial figure of some sort. And, I know that a lot of that is in the past now, and I do want to move forward with my life. But it has affected me. It's very frustrating when you want to be interactive, but, you have this dark cloud of negativity surrounding you. And, I would say that this issue affected my life because it prevented me from having, the regular kind of relationships that most people deserve to have. Okay. I've been, given a reputation that scarred me, not like it hurt me personally because I never believed any of the negative stuff. Okay. But I dealt with a lot of negativity from people because I was in this program. Okay, so, I put in a lot of effort in my videos, and I put out, I don't know even what the number is now, okay, but it's in the thousands, okay, it's like 1,000 something. Anyway, I've been making a lot of videos, and I have about 600 subscribers, which most of these people that I gather are subscribing to me. I get the intuitive message that they've known me for pretty much a long time. Like it might be old family members, coworkers, and stuff like that. And I do appreciate your support. But I do understand that, there was some sort of agreement to, oust me on a social level, which in this case, because we've dealt with so much negativity, it's kind of difficult to mend those relationships, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm going to look at people who accepted or believed this. It makes sense to move on, okay? But if you want to continue supporting me from a distance, I do appreciate it. But there's certain things that could happen in life that can't be fixed. You know what I mean? Like, can't be a simple "I'm sorry" can't fix it. You know what I mean? It's a very deep issue that occurred in the past, and I think it's better that I move forward. And I do understand that what happened in the past does affect my ability to move forward, at least when it comes to my mindset. I know that I am no longer blacklisted. I know that my that this issue has been cleared up. Like, I'm not being affected by what people have said about me because I think people see that they were wrong. Okay. But at the same time, it has changed my view of people, and it has changed my ability to interact with people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm still able to socialize and have a conversation, but what happened, you can't forget what happened. You can't. I mean, there's no way in the world you can, because it says a lot about human nature. Okay. So, it has affected my life for forever, for as long as I'm going to be here on earth. It's always going to create some sort of agitation in my mind when it comes to social issues. It is what it is. Okay. But, I have decided to focus my energies on my things that I do and the things that I need to get done in my life. It's like I don't want to stagnate. And I would say there was a lot of stagnation in 2024, as well as the years that were leading up to that. So, I wanted to make this video about prosperity because I know we are moving into the new year 2025. And, I've been doing some it's not that I search for this sort of stuff, but if you order from a particular company or you even search their website, you're going to continually get advertisements, right? So I have known that in the years past, like I've always liked fruit as a form of symbolism in my home or whatever, and I used to really love the pomegranate. Now, the pomegranate is a fruit that symbolizes, having enough, being content. Because if you think about all the little seeds that are crammed into this little red fruit, right? It's a form of abundance, all right? So the pomegranate is a symbolism of wishes, fulfillment, and also abundance. And I've noticed in the last, I don't know, I would say 2 or 3 months, that there's a lot of pomegranate type items being sold. Okay. I think I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of Temu. Now, like just like Amazon or any other place that you order online, you're going to get some nice purchases and you're going to end up with some things that you don't particularly like. Okay. I think that's the case with just about any company. There's different vendors, different whatever. I would say that for the majority of the purchases that I've made on Temu, that I'm content with it. I tend to look at a lot of their little miniature items. Some of their like, what do you call it? Jewelry making type stuff. It's a good place to shop online, and they do have like they do sell clothing. Um, and they sell, artwork. They sell tarot cards. They have all kinds of things that you could imagine. It's really fun to shop there, and I really have to say that the prices are very reasonable. So I wanted to share some of the pomegranate symbols that you may choose to look at and may purchase on this particular website. The information is going to be in the link in the description box. The first item I'd like to show is this cute little vase. It's not very big, but that's kind of what you want. You don't want something big and bulky. This would look really cute on a bookshelf or as a desk ornament. Now, when I saw this rug, I thought, oh, there's so many uses you can get out of this rug. Now, you can use this for a kitchen, or you can use it as a bathroom mat when you get out of the shower. But it's cute because, of course, it's a pomegranate, and you can visualize yourself stepping into prosperity with this rug. Now, these are cute because you can wear these. These are earrings, and I thought these are really cute. Now, the only thing about these kind of earrings, because they're not made of actual gold or silver, you have to be very careful with this sort of, I guess, metal material. I guess that's what I'll call it. I know in the past when I've had what they call costume jewelry, I used to keep my jewelry in like a little wall hanging in the bathroom, and the moisture in the air of the bathroom would make the make the little jewelry pieces turn a different color. So if you do purchase something like this or these particular earrings, you want to make sure that they're secure in a jewelry box. These are very cute and they're a very good price. As mentioned, all these items will be linked in the description box. I do have some intuitive messages I'd like to go over. The first intuitive message that I have is that I have inspired a lot of magical art. And, I don't get to see the results of my work. I know that my work has been uploaded on a shadow channel. And I don't get comments very much on my channel, unfortunately. But I'm glad that I am inspiring people to do things outside of their routine. Like, I am well aware that things can get really boring, things can get really dull, and things can become routine. And I feel as though adding creativity into your daily life, or as much as you possibly can. Sometimes you just can't fit in anything creative, but, or somehow getting in touch with your inner child, okay, as often as you possibly can, is actually quite healing, okay? And it also brings a lot of positive feelings into your home or into, your life specifically. So I'm glad to know that. Also, people want to know more about my past life as CB Braganza, as well as my other past lives that I've discovered. Okay, like originally, I found out that I was the Prince Alamehu person, also known as CB Braganza, and then I found out that I was the wife of King Tut, and now I understand that I am King Solomon. Now I don't know how many other lives there are, and I do know that I had used a uh, past life reading in conjunction with my own tarot interpretations from Magnolia and Ash, okay, which said that I had 88 lives. You know, I don't know, okay. The more I'm starting to think about these time periods, it kind of gets very blurred, but I do understand that throughout the course of my life here on Earth, that I dealt with a lot of struggles, and mainly those struggles were from outside sources, people who were challenging me on who I was and what I believed and whatever. Same thing here, you know, as Maria Gordon. But that's pretty much what I know for now, and I have added little details in this new newsletter that I'm working on. I, I delve into my past life when I can, and there's times where, you know, I'm like, okay, sometimes understanding that much can get very draining. Believe it or not, it can get very draining at times. If you use your psychic intuition all the time, that right there can end up making you feel very, very tired. But also, it's so, I love who CB Braganza was, or should I say is, because I am CB Braganza. But it's the fact that there is so much negative drama surrounding his existence, okay? And it's that part that I have a hard time dealing with, okay? But the more I come to understand, I will be posting information on what more information that comes, you know, to me, whether that be posting it on Facebook or posting it on a video. Um, Also, the other message I got is like many older folks are inspired to live their best life as themselves, getting in touch with their inner child and enjoying happiness. And I'm glad that I, you know, contributed to that, because I do feel as though the older that we get, the more, you know, depressed we get, meaning because we tend to distance ourselves from things that we truly love. And the sad part is sometimes there's people, outside sources, that try to make you feel bad about, you know, maybe if you're an adult and you decide to go roller skating, okay? But what they don't understand is what roller skating is doing for you. It's pulling you out of depression. And a lot of times people kind of look, they don't understand, you know, that maturity and being able to be a responsible person has nothing to do with that. You know, I mean, I'm a great example of that. I know for many years, people would put me down for my interest in toys, or, you know, my interest in anything that I took interest in. It was like something that people wanted to criticize. But it is those things that I did or enjoyed more so than wanting to be around people that I felt were abusive. It really is that simple. Okay. So anyway, the other message that I got was is that I am free to be myself, and I think I know, okay, from what I've dealt with throughout the time of my targeting, it was very, very frustrating and very provoked a lot of anger inside of me, because, you know, no one likes to be singled out, okay? And I do understand the reason why I was singled out is because I was a clone. I'm the clone of King Solomon, and people, you know, it was an issue set up by white nationalists to attack me, okay, and to try to demoralize me and distance me from who I was. And I go into a little bit in the newsletter, but I will tell you that kind of bullying is just absolutely, it's just unspeakable, okay? But I understood that I I had no desire to give up the things that made me live, that gave me strength, okay? And I understood that I had my rights, and I hung on to that, you know. The people that used to attack me in the workplace, who used to shun me, and the people who wanted to throw their nose up at me, I never wanted to associate with them anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, their whole message was, well, we're going to exclude you because you're this, 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 and this. It's like, well, you're actually doing me a favor. It is that way. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many abusive situations I've been in throughout the course of my life, but especially in the workplace. Okay, the workplace. Oh my goodness. It's sad to say that workplaces can be this toxic. And the reason why it frustrates me that workplaces are so toxic is because it is very much like somebody putting a gun to your head when they want to bully you out of your means of survival. And that's really what it is, okay? So, people go to work so that they could support their life. You know what I mean? And I felt as though in my last jobs, I felt as though there was no reason to live. They were choking the life out of me. Seriously. Okay. So anyway, I'm moving forward now and things are better. But it's those memories that I feel as though it's just time for me to move on. When somebody orchestrates some sort of campaign against another person in that capacity, like, I understand now that this was like I would say more than national. This went all over the world. This whole thing about, ostracizing someone who would have never put themselves in this position, just to be a punching bag for malicious minded people. And that's what I think about. And that's how I can't help to feel the way that I feel. It's a realistic way to feel. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I think of myself as a very peaceful person, and that's what's important. I'm peaceful because I am content with my life. I don't like to project my anger out on other people. And I take control of my life in a way where, I feel as though me putting focus on the things that I enjoy doing, such as my arts and crafts, and like I just recently bought that those little miniatures and stuff like that. And I actually put some little plates and cups in that cabinet. It looks really cute. I have to show it to you sometime. But it's those things, that keep me going. Sad to say that throughout my life, I've never had anyone that was in my surrounding or in my social group that really gave me any support or gave me any incentive to want to change my life to conform to their way of living, which I felt as though to behave the way that they did, that's just morally depraved. I cannot bring myself to be that way. So anyway, yes, I'm glad to be myself, and I wouldn't want to be anyone else. Okay, the next thing I got was that yes, white nationalists were connected um, to my targeting. And I do believe that it was the white nationalist groups that kind of censored me on YouTube. This was a whole political thing to try to discredit me as a person. And, I understand that this is sort of like an interconnection or some sort of like indirect connection with the Shadow Channel. I think initially their goal was to mock me or whatever, but, it ended up where they can't help but take me seriously, right? So anyway, I wish I never got brought into this. I'm sorry that, people would do something like this, and it certainly has changed my view on people. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all I can really say. Anyway, the other message that I got is that people do agree on my point about that it's the law that should be followed and not governed by religion. One of the reasons why I am not active on YouTube, meaning like, I definitely should have more subscribers than what I have. Okay, but it's because of this idea for a while that was going on with Christians having this sort of privilege. Now, I'm going to tell you what it's like to be in a work environment where people feel as though they have some sort of privilege just because of their religion. Okay. Now, I am a hard worker, and there is no doubt about it. No doubt about it. If it comes to people who contribute or want to contribute, who has the energy to contribute, that would be me. Okay, but unfortunately, this was not the issue in the workplace. It was always like, people feeling like they had some sort of entitlement and trying to rub it in my face. This is one of the reasons why they would drag me into these like job interviews to try to play with me. See, the thing is that um, people, this whole issue just showed me the true colors of people. And I will tell you, if I was somebody in a position of privilege, what kind of person am I to rub that in the face of someone else? I will tell you that would make you evil, and it would make you someone who doesn't seem very humble, and it's certainly not something that should be identified with religion. Meaning, like, you would think that you would be someone that was striving to be more what they call Christ-like, but no. So yeah, I mean, and aside from that, when you think about law, I understand, like, in the Christian faith, people they get married. There's a lot of marriages and stuff like that. But when it comes to law, a lot of women can get abused, and a lot of women need to have employment. A lot of women need to get out of abusive relationships where they're getting abused, as well as their children. Now, if the world is supposed to be governed by religion, there are some men who use this as an excuse to keep women under control. And this has been going on for quite a long time. So when it comes to law, having respect for law versus somebody following a religion, yeah, absolutely. And that's the way it was meant to be, established, okay? I understand that a lot of people distorted things here, as well as within their own organizations, and things just got really corrupt, And I also got another message in my mind about, how fortunate I am to not intermingle with the world. I mean, yeah, it gets very lonely sometimes. And sometimes, you just wish you could call up a girl and say, hey, you know what, I want to go get my nails done, or I want to go to a garage sale, or I want to do this sort of stuff, okay? But there is a serious problem in the majority of people. They don't seem to understand what it is to have any sort of morals. You know what I mean? If they had morals, they would have never participated in this in the first place. They would have questioned it. You know what I mean? No one did that. Okay. So I look at people, and I've said this before, but going back to the law thing, yeah, people need law to follow law because it's for their own protection. This is not in me in any way saying that people shouldn't follow their religion, but they also have to understand that there's certain limits. You know what I mean? Like I said, if a woman's getting abused, her kids are getting abused, she should be able to find secure employment and feel safe where she's working. She doesn't need to be in a work environment where people are spying on her for her husband. This sort of stuff that can go on, okay? So I'm glad that people understand and agree with that. Anyway, the other message that I got is that the royal family is fascinated by me discussing things relating to archons and cloning, and that they feel as though I can talk about this issue without restriction. Now, I just recently finished making a video. There's a link to the video that I will talk about a little bit later in this particular video. But yeah, I'm finding out a little bit more, putting pieces together on things. Some of it is, my theory based on things that I've read in the past, and then also things that I've experienced, and things that I've heard from word of mouth. Like, I know that my brother-in-law and a couple of the kids from school used to talk about, like underground tunnels and stuff like that. And I remember reading about that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm very glad that people are getting this topic out in the open, and that's cool. Thank you. The other issue is that people seem supportive about my project on the autodidacts, which I am going to be putting a lot of focus on in the next few months. I'd like to wrap things up by the end of February, if not mid-March. That way I can go ahead and submit. Yes, I'm going to submit this to the state and see what happens. I'm kind of interested in seeing the results of that. But yeah, I do believe that there's other methods of learning in a more rapid way, and starting from childhood all the way up to your adult years. But it's about incorporating the things that we learn into our daily life. You know what I mean? So that it just becomes secondhand nature for you to be able to answer certain questions. So anyway, I'm going to go on to the next slide. Okay, I thought I'd use this time to make some announcements. Now, this is the last Monday of December, and it's also the last Monday of this year. So I have decided that this is going to be my last episode of Monday Merriment. The main reason is because I'm going to be picking up where I left off for my courses with AWAI. I know I had dropped my courses that I was taking, these little, informational type courses that they have in 2003, because I was really confused. I didn't know what was going on as far as employment, what I was doing. So I got through some of it and I just kind of abandoned it. So I have decided to pick up where I left off. Also, I want to focus my energy and attention to autodidacts because this is something that's very important to me. I will be posting videos from time to time. I just won't be doing them on a weekly basis. I do plan on changing the direction of my channel, although I only have a few subscribers. But, there's things I want to record and keep for my own record, I guess. So I will be changing, doing things like arts and crafts, tutorials, sewing tutorials, and product reviews, that kind of stuff. Okay. I will be talking about the mystical from here and there, but I'm basically kind of backing away from the whole Monday Merriment thing. Okay. Mainly because of time. Also, I wanted to say that I have completed my 2025 Volume 2 of the first quarter newsletter, which will be available in the description box. And those are the only announcements that I have. So I'm going to go on to the synchronistic symbol for the week. Last week's synchronistic symbol was the black cat. And this week's synchronistic symbol is the evil eye. And I hope that this particular symbol will protect you for the entire year of 2025. Thank you so much. I wish you all a prosperous new year. Remember to get the first quarter newsletter and the featured to me items in the description box. Thank you.